Expand your vocabulary with our core 2,000 words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Spanish ebook before it's gone. Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to ask and answer the question, how do you say this? After watching this video, you'll be able to ask someone how a word is pronounced. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your How to Say Something PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿Cómo se dice esto?
Se dice estacionamiento.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Cómo se dice esto?
How do you say this?
Se dice estacionamiento.
It's parking lot. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, how do you say this? That's,
¿Cómo se dice esto?
listen to it again.
¿Cómo se dice esto? ¿Cómo se dice esto?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Se dice,
word. This Spanish sentence literally translates into, it is said word, but it means it's word in English. For example, it's parking lot.
se dice estacionamiento. Se dice estacionamiento.
Here are a few useful words you can use with the same pattern. Parking lot,
Estacionamiento. Estacionamiento.
giraffe,
Jirafa. Jirafa.
dog,
Perro. Perro.
morning,
Mañana. Mañana.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice jirafa. ¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice perro. ¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice mañana.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, how do you say this?
¿Cómo se dice esto?
Imagine it's the word giraffe. Do you remember how to say giraffe?
Jirafa. Jirafa.
Say, it's giraffe.
Se dice jirafa.
Now answer the question saying, it's giraffe.
¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice jirafa.
Imagine it's the word dog. Do you remember how to say dog?
Perro. Perro.
Say, it's dog.
Se dice perro.
Now answer the question saying it's dog.
¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice perro.
Now, imagine it's the word morning. Do you remember how to say morning?
Mañana. Mañana.
Say, it's morning.
Se dice mañana.
Now, answer the question saying it's morning.
¿Cómo se dice esto? Se dice mañana.
Most people who learn a foreign language learn it so that they can one day have real-life conversations with native speakers. When you start out learning and crack open your first textbook or listen to your first podcast, having a real conversation can feel like a fantasy. When everything about a language feels new, it can be overwhelming. But this couldn't be further from the truth. While it does take a significant amount of time and effort to become fluent, having a conversation might not be as far off as you think. In this video, we'll look at 3 ways you can boost your conversational skills and start talking to native speakers. Number 1, find native speakers and practice with them. It's unlikely you live near a big group of native speakers to practice with. If you happen to be in a major or international city, your chances may be better. Check and see if your city has a general language exchange. Chances are there could be a native speaker there who is also trying to learn another language. Practicing in person with a native speaker is probably the most interesting option for honing your speaking skills. But if you can't find anyone where you live, the next best option is to look online. Luckily for language learners, the past 10 years or so have seen an explosion in online language exchange sites. On these websites, you can search for someone who is a native speaker of your target language and is also learning your native language. The idea behind a language exchange is that you communicate with them via video or text chat, and half of the time, they help you practice your target language. And for the other half, you help them practice theirs. Practicing via an online language exchange is a highly effective way to practice your conversational skills. Number 2, work on pronunciation. Pronunciation is often an overlooked skill when it comes to learning a foreign language. Most people think of a good foreign accent as a luxury rather than a necessity. But what most people don't talk about is how having a good accent boosts your listening and comprehension skills. If you can hear a sound from a foreign language and know how to make it yourself, then you're more likely to understand native speakers when they talk at normal speed, and you're also more likely to remember any new words or phrases you come across. Having a good accent means that the language no longer sounds foreign. Instead, it sounds familiar, maybe even natural. So how do you go about perfecting your accent? The best way is to break down the language into its individual sounds. Make note of any sounds that are the same or similar to your native language and of those that are different. Of the sounds that are different, spend your time practicing the ones that you find the hardest to say correctly. After you're comfortable with the individual sounds, you can start linking together words and phrases. This is where accent practice starts to get really fun and interesting. Get your hands on some native speaker audio from a TV show, song, or podcast. Play the audio back and listen closely a few times. Take note of how words blend together in speech. Then, do your best to imitate what you hear, trying to match the speaker's emphasis and intonation. Our language learning program's playback feature is perfect for this. Record yourself and compare it to the original recording. Rinse and repeat until you're comfortable with the audio selection, and then move on to something more difficult. This is how you can break through the accent barrier and really start to make the language your own. Number 3, learn phrases, not just individual words. Learning grammar and individual words is great, but it's not the only approach you should take if you want to speak fluently. In addition to your regular grammar and vocabulary, try learning whole phrases, even if you aren't totally sure how they work grammatically. Learn phrases that are specific to your needs. It's a good idea to learn phrases that are grouped around a certain setting or subject, such as simple greetings or introductions, questions for getting to know someone, or traveling comfortably. You can even learn filler phrases, which you can use so that you have something to say when, well, you don't know what to say. Learning phrases like this will help you become conversational faster. You may not understand what you're saying literally, but as long as you know the general meaning behind the phrase and know when to use it, you'll be able to talk like a native. Eventually, your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary should catch up with the phrases you know. Learning a new language should feel like an adventure. There will be plateaus and periods in your learning where it feels like you're hitting a wall, but being able to speak with native speakers and have real conversations will help you combat language fatigue. After all, talking to someone face-to-face in a foreign language is one of the main reasons we start learning in the first place. And for even more ways to gain conversation skills, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what's your favorite number? After watching this video, you'll be able to say many numbers and ask someone their favorite number. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Numbers PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito? El 7.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
What's your favorite number?
El 7.
It's 7. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what's your favorite number? That's,
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
listen to it again.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito? ¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
El
number. This Spanish sentence literally translates into the number, but it means its number. For example, it's 7.
El 7. El 7.
Here are a few more numbers you can use with the same pattern. 7,
7. 7.
2,
2. 2.
4,
4. 4.
9,
9. 9.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 2.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 4.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 9.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, what's your favorite number?
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
Imagine it's 2. Do you remember how to say 2?
2. 2.
Say, it's 2.
El 2.
Now answer the question saying, it's 2.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 2.
Now imagine it's 4. Do you remember how to say 4?
4. 4.
Say, it's 4.
El 4.
Now, answer the question by saying it's 4.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 4.
Now, imagine it's 9. Do you remember how to say 9?
9. 9.
Say it's 9.
El 9.
Now, answer the question saying it's 9.
¿Cuál es tu número favorito?
El 9.
You've studied for a while and are ready to talk to people and practice what you've learned. But where do you start? Starting a conversation in a new language can seem a bit intimidating. How do you just jump into it? In this video, we'll look at 5 ways to start conversations. Number 1. Introduce yourself in your target language. This is usually one of the first things you learn when you start studying a new language. And sometimes, starting a conversation, or continuing one, is as simple as introducing yourself. Number 2. Talking about the weather. This is a universal talking point. People talk about the weather all over the world. And just saying, "It's really nice today," is enough to start a conversation. A great way to practice your weather conversation skills is to check out our Can-Do lesson pathway. This series of lessons teaches you how to talk about the weather in your target language. Number 3. Give compliments. Compliments are a great way to start a conversation. You can compliment something about your conversation partner's city, country, or something specific to them personally. "Hey, your bag is super cute," or "That ice cream looks delicious." These kinds of compliments can lead to further conversation about what you complimented. In this case, it could be fashion or a local restaurant. This is a great way to make quick connections with people. Number 4. Ask for help. For example, you can ask for directions, ask about prices, or request recommendations for restaurants or shopping spots, and let the conversation go from there. People are usually happy to lend a helping hand to tourists who are visiting their city. Number 5. Learn phrases for transactions. This can include getting a room at a hotel or telling a taxi driver where to go. When you're traveling overseas, you'll need to talk to other people in your target language. And while this might be a bit scary at first, you'll find that the people you meet are just happy that you're trying to communicate with them. So get started talking in your target language now. For even more tips on how to start conversations, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "What kind of movies do you like?" After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about movies and ask other people about their favorite kinds of movies. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Talking About Movies and TV PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan?
Me gustan las de terror.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan?
What kind of movies do you like?
Me gustan las de terror.
I like horror. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?" That's,
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan?
listen to it again.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? ¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Me gustan las de.
type of movie. I like type of movie. For example, I like horror.
Me gustan las de terror. Me gustan las de terror.
Here are a few more kinds of movies you can use with the same pattern to talk about movies. Horror,
terror, terror,
comedy,
comedias, comedias,
fantasy,
fantasía, fantasía,
romance,
romance, romance.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las comedias. ¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las de fantasía. ¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las de romance.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What kind of movies do you like?"
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan?
Imagine you like comedies. Do you remember how to say comedy?
Comedias. Comedias.
Say, I like comedies.
Me gustan las comedias.
Now answer the question saying that you like comedies.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las comedias.
Now imagine that you like fantasy movies. Do you remember how to say fantasy?
Fantasía. Fantasía.
Say, I like fantasy.
Me gustan las de fantasía.
Now, answer the question saying you like fantasy movies.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las de fantasía.
Now imagine you like romance. Do you remember how to say romance?
Romance. Romance.
Say, I like romance.
Me gustan las de romance.
Now answer the question saying you like romance.
¿Qué tipo de películas te gustan? Me gustan las de romance.
Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one, and the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. Today, we'll learn conversational phrases about occupations. After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your job and ask what somebody does for a living. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your occupation PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿A qué te dedicas? Soy artista.
Listen to it again, now with the English translation.
¿A qué te dedicas?
What do you do?
Soy artista.
I'm an artist. First of all, you need to learn how to say, what do you do? That's.
¿A qué te dedicas?
Listen to it again.
¿A qué te dedicas? ¿A qué te dedicas?
This Spanish sentence literally translates into, what is your job? But it means, what do you do, in English. Now, how do you answer this question? This is the pattern you'll need.
Soy.
Your occupation. I'm a, an, your occupation. For example, I'm an artist.
Soy artista. Soy artista.
Here are a few more professions you can use with the same pattern. Police officer,
Policía. Policía.
teacher,
Maestro. Maestro.
Maestra. Maestra.
doctor,
Doctor. Doctor.
Doctora. Doctora.
engineer,
Ingeniero. Ingeniero.
Ingeniera. Ingeniera.
Now, listen to some examples.
¿A qué te dedicas? Soy maestro. ¿A qué te dedicas? Soy doctor. ¿A qué te dedicas? Soy ingeniero.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What do you do?"
¿A qué te dedicas?
Imagine you're a doctor. Do you remember how to say, "Doctor"?
Doctor. Doctor.
Say, "I'm a doctor."
Soy doctor.
Now answer the question saying that you are a doctor.
¿A qué te dedicas? Soy doctor.
Now, imagine you're a teacher. Do you remember how to say teacher?
Maestro. Maestro.
Say, "I'm a teacher."
Soy maestro.
Now, answer the question saying that you are a teacher.
¿A qué te dedicas? Soy maestro.
Now, imagine you're an engineer. Do you remember how to say engineer?
Ingeniero. Ingeniero.
Say, "I'm an engineer."
Soy ingeniero.
Now, answer the question saying that you are an engineer.
¿A qué te dedicas? Soy ingeniero.
Want to speak and understand more of your target language? If so, of course, you'll need to know more words and phrases than you do now. In this video, we'll cover 5 ways to master new words and phrases fast. Number 1, use our free vocabulary list. This is a free library of vocabulary and phrase lessons for all kinds of situations. You can learn words and phrases for current events, holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving, and useful topics, like the top 10 ways to say hello, conversational phrases, and more. You'll learn phrases that you won't find in textbooks. If you want to learn extra fast, use the slideshow tool. Just tap or click on View Slideshow, then sit back and review the words and phrases. Find the vocabulary list in the vocabulary drop-down menu on the site. These vocabulary lists are free for all users. Number 2, take the audio and video lessons. One of the best ways to learn new words is by hearing and using them in conversations. This is because it gives you the opportunity to understand how the words are actually used. In every lesson dialogue, you'll likely come across some words you don't know. But don't worry, because our teachers translate everything. When you hear the conversation again at the end of the lesson, you'll be familiar with the words you didn't know at first. Number 3, learn with our 2,000 most common words list. A quick question. How many words do you think you need for conversational fluency? 3,000? 5,000? It's actually not as many as you think. Language experts say you need about 1,500 words to reach conversational fluency. With our 2,000 most common words list, you'll get access to key vocabulary words you need to boost your conversation skills. The words are broken down into simple categories, such as adjectives, nouns, verbs, food, drinks, numbers, months, and so on, so you can go category by category and focus on what you're most interested in first. With this tip, we're not talking about paper flashcards. We're talking about the smart flashcards that you can find in our premium study tools. This is an automatic system individualized for each member based on their study needs. First, you'll use the cards to check your knowledge. Then, according to your answers, the cards will be sorted according to which words you need more practice with. Words that you struggle with will be shown to you more and more. You'll see words that you know well less often. This system helps you study more efficiently. It displays the words you need to work on and knows when you should refresh your knowledge. This helps make sure you don't forget vocabulary. In every study session, these cards will help you refresh your memory on the words you learned last time and introduce new words. Number 5, use the words. After you learn a new word, using it right away is crucial to remembering it. So, when you're done with a lesson or a vocab list, here's something you can do. Leave a comment. Make up a sample sentence and post it in the comment section. Write it down in a notebook, or shadow the word with a lessons dialogue. Our language learning program is full of tools that can help you speak more. Just pick one and get started. If you want to unlock all of these study tools, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, what are you doing during the holiday? After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about your holiday plans. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your National Holidays PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
Planeo ir a la playa.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
What are you doing for Holy Week?
Planeo ir a la playa.
I'm planning to go to the beach. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, what are you doing for Holy Week? That's,
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
listen to it again.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa? ¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Planeo.
plan. This Spanish sentence literally translates as, I plan. But it means, I'm planning to plan. For example, I'm planning to go to the beach.
Planeo ir a la playa. Planeo ir a la playa.
Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk about your plans. Go to the beach.
Ir a la playa. Ir a la playa.
travel,
viajar, viajar,
stay home,
quedarse en casa, quedarse en casa,
go to the movies,
ir al cine, ir al cine,
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo viajar,
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo quedarme en casa,
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo ir al cine,
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "What are you doing for Holy Week?"
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
Imagine you're planning to travel. Do you remember how to say travel?
viajar, viajar,
Say, I'm planning to travel.
planeo viajar,
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to travel.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo viajar,
Now, imagine you're planning to stay home. Do you remember how to say stay home?
quedarse en casa, quedarse en casa,
Say, I'm planning to stay home.
planeo quedarme en casa,
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to stay home.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo quedarme en casa,
Now imagine you're planning to go to the movies. Do you remember how to say go to the movies?
ir al cine, ir al cine,
Say, I'm planning to go to the movies.
planeo ir al cine,
Now, answer the question saying you're planning to go to the movies.
¿Qué vas a hacer en Semana Santa?
planeo ir al cine,
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, you'll learn conversational phrases to use when talking on the phone. After watching this video, you'll be able to ask for someone on the phone and to put someone on hold. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Making a Phone Call PDF cheat sheet for free. Now, let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
Buen día. Me gustaría hablar con la persona a cargo.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Once more with the English translation.
Buen día. Me gustaría hablar con la persona a cargo.
Hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Okay, just a moment. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say hello on the phone. That's
Buen día. Buen día.
Then you'll need to learn how to say, I'd like to speak with person. The pattern is
Me gustaría hablar con.
person. For example, hello, I'd like to speak with the person in charge.
Buen día. Me gustaría hablar con la persona a cargo. Buen día. Me gustaría hablar con la persona a cargo.
Now, how do you answer this question?
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Okay, just a moment. Listen to it again.
Sí, un momento, por favor. Sí, un momento, por favor.
This Spanish sentence literally translates as, yes, a moment, please, but it means, okay, just a moment. Here are a few more phrases you can use with the same pattern to talk on the phone. The person in charge.
La persona a cargo. La persona a cargo.
A sales representative.
Un representante de ventas. Un representante de ventas.
The manager.
El gerente. El gerente.
Someone from customer service.
Alguien de servicio al cliente. Alguien de servicio al cliente.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
Me gustaría hablar con un representante de ventas.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Me gustaría hablar con el gerente.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Me gustaría hablar con alguien de servicio al cliente.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, I'd like to speak with person?
Me gustaría hablar con.
Person. And how do you answer it?
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Imagine you want to talk to a sales representative. Do you remember how to say, a sales representative?
Un representante de ventas. Un representante de ventas.
Say, I'd like to speak with a sales representative.
Me gustaría hablar con un representante de ventas.
Now say you want to talk to a sales representative and answer it.
Me gustaría hablar con un representante de ventas.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Now, imagine you want to talk to the manager. Do you remember how to say, the manager?
El gerente. El gerente.
Say, I'd like to speak with the manager.
Me gustaría hablar con el gerente.
Now say you want to talk to the manager and answer it.
Me gustaría hablar con el gerente.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
Now imagine you want to talk to someone from customer service. Do you remember how to say, someone from customer service?
Alguien de servicio al cliente. Alguien de servicio al cliente.
Say, I'd like to speak with someone from customer service.
Me gustaría hablar con alguien de servicio al cliente.
Now say you want to talk to someone from customer service and answer it.
Me gustaría hablar con alguien de servicio al cliente.
Sí, un momento, por favor.
When learning a new language, everyone should have an ultimate goal to work towards. Whether you want to be able to connect with a relative, easily order food while traveling, or go somewhere new, having an end goal for your learning can be very motivating. A popular but challenging goal is being able to speak like a native speaker. It's difficult to measure exactly when you reach this goal, and it's not something you can pick up using textbooks alone. So how do you work on making your speech more natural? That's what we're going to look at today. Here are 3 tips to help you practice talking like a native speaker. Number 1, focus on vocabulary. If your goal is to speak like a native, you might be really focused on speaking quickly or using as many complex grammar patterns as possible. But in our native languages, we're not always trying to speak as fast as possible, and we use complex grammar patterns when necessary, not to show off. Vocabulary, however, is extremely important to expressing ourselves naturally. Your choice of words can reveal a lot about you and your understanding of the language. Most learners have had the experience of using a phrasebook or a dictionary to find a word they want to use, trying the word in conversation, and getting a look of confusion from the native speaker. In some cases, although your word choice may be grammatically correct, the word may be inappropriate for the situation or totally unnatural. This is especially important in business and other formal situations, where the right level of formality and professionalism is key. Being able to understand nuances in vocabulary words can also help you understand relationships between people just by listening to the conversation. Try to listen to many different types of conversations. Listen to how people talk to their friends, their superiors, and in customer service situations. This will give you a better idea of how to talk to others naturally. In some languages, you can omit words from sentences or use more direct communication styles. It's important to be aware of these things so you can apply them yourself. Colloquialisms and slang are also commonly used in most languages. As this sort of vocabulary is always evolving, it can be difficult to keep up with the latest words. Talk with native speakers and consume media in your target language to make sure you pick up these kinds of expressions. Media is a great resource for your learning. Ultimately, knowing the appropriate vocabulary to use for each situation will really help you sound more knowledgeable. Number 2, perfect your accent. With every language, there are unique pronunciation and intonation challenges. Some languages are tonal languages, and a change in pitch can completely change the meaning of a word. Then there's the fact that most countries have multiple dialects, and so people from one area of the country may sound different from those in another. So what is the best way to listen to a wide range of accents and different pronunciations? Video and audio resources are a great way to do this. YouTube is a perfect place to start because people from all kinds of different backgrounds upload videos to the platform. You can watch educational videos, daily life vlogs, cooking shows, a travel series, whatever interests you. Pay attention to the different ways people speak. Everyone is unique. And then practice speaking like them. This kind of practice can help you sound more natural. One note, please be aware of the type of resources you're using. For example, if you find a video where a speaker uses a rare dialect, it might not be a good idea to use that for your pronunciation practice, unless you have a special reason for studying a specific accent. As a general rule, it's best to try to search for practice resources that use a standard form of the language you're studying. Number 3, copy what you hear. Do you remember how you learned to speak as a child? We rarely learned new words just listening to them, or reading after we learned how. When we were little kids, we imitated the sounds we heard by repeating the sounds out loud. While you're talking to a friend, watching videos, or listening to audio in your target language, you can do this to try and replicate the way they speak. Doing this will help you work on mastering the flow of the language, your accent, intonation, and pronunciation. Of course, you might also pick up some new vocabulary this way. Make sure to repeat new words often. It's a great way to make sure you remember them. Try doing this using a number of different mediums and sources. That way, you'll be exposed to the diversity that the language offers and master the fundamentals of pronunciation. For example, you can watch and imitate several different YouTube videos and audio CDs, but try a few different sources, like different creators or different audio types, to make sure you experience a wide range of communication in your target language. If you're using our language learning program, you can even get your own teacher with Premium Plus. Your teacher can answer questions, give assignments, and even listen to your recordings and give you advice on pronunciation. Completing these kinds of lessons with a native teacher can really boost your confidence in your speaking skills. Becoming able to speak like a native is a popular goal for many people learning a new language. It feels great to be able to communicate smoothly, especially when the people you're talking to expect basic level sentences or broken communication. Try using the tips we've shared in this video to work on improving your speaking skills. Of course, it'll take time and persistence, but the reward will be more natural communication. And for even more tips on speaking, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Hey everyone, Alicia here. Welcome to Conversational Phrases. We've found that the best way to learn a language is to speak it from day one. And the best way to start speaking is to learn phrases that you'll use in real conversations. In this lesson, we'll learn conversational phrases to answer the question, "How's your mother?" After watching this video, you'll be able to talk about well-being and ask how someone is doing. And if you want to learn more vocabulary, phrases, and example sentences you can use in real-life situations, click the link in the description to download your Conversation About Family Well-Being PDF cheat sheet for free. Now let's take a look at some conversational phrases.
Listen to the dialogue.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? Está bien.
Once more with the English translation.
¿Cómo está tu mamá?
How's your mother?
Está bien.
She's fine. First of all, you'll need to learn how to say, "How's your mother?" That's,
¿Cómo está tu mamá?
listen to it again.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? ¿Cómo está tu mamá?
Now, how do you answer this question? The pattern is
Está.
state of well-being. This Spanish sentence literally means is. We omit the article she, but it translates as she is state of well-being in English. For example, she's fine.
Está bien. Está bien.
Here are a few expressions related to well-being that you can use with this pattern. Great,
Muy bien. Muy bien.
fine,
Bien. Bien.
so-so,
No muy bien. No muy bien.
sad,
Triste. Triste.
Let's look at some examples. Listen and repeat or speak along with the native speakers.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? Está muy bien. ¿Cómo está tu mamá? No está muy bien. ¿Cómo está tu mamá? Está triste.
Okay, now it's your turn. Do you remember how to say, "How's your mother?"
¿Cómo está tu mamá?
Imagine she's great. Do you remember how to say great?
Muy bien. Muy bien.
Say, she's great.
Está muy bien.
Now, answer the question saying she's great.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? Está muy bien.
Now imagine she's so-so. Do you remember how to say so-so?
No muy bien. No muy bien.
Say, she's so-so.
No está muy bien.
Now, answer the question saying she's so-so.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? No está muy bien.
Now imagine she's sad. Do you remember how to say sad?
Triste. Triste.
Say, she's sad.
Está triste.
Now, answer the question saying she's sad.
¿Cómo está tu mamá? Está triste.
Want to speak real Spanish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at SpanishPod101.com.
Want to finally start speaking in your target language? In this guide, you'll discover the top 7 ways to practice speaking on your own with our lessons. Let's begin. Number 1, shadowing. Shadowing is a proven learning technique where all you do is repeat what you hear in order to practice speaking. So, access any audio or video lesson on the site and press the play button to start. Then, as you listen or watch, just repeat the conversations. Or, even easier, read along out loud with the dialogue section. The script is right there in front of you. With our lessons, you can master entire conversations, just like that. Number 2, read out loud. I just mentioned it, but reading out loud is another powerful tactic and deserves its own mention. With every lesson, you get written transcripts and translations. So, as you play the lesson, read the dialogue out loud as you hear it. Why? By reading out loud, you're also practicing your speaking skills. You can do this with the lesson notes, the lesson transcript, or the dialogue tool. With the dialogue tool, you can listen to each line again and again, and repeat out loud until you master them all. Number 3, speed up your reading to speed up your speaking. Being able to speak without thinking is a sign of language mastery. If you're talking to a native and can respond quickly, they'll assume that you're fairly fluent. How can you do this? When you read out loud, try increasing your speed a little bit every time. So, start by reading with the dialogue tool. If you're like most learners, you'll read the first line slowly. That's because you're still getting used to the words, which is okay. Reread it. On your second try, you know most of the words, and you'll read a little faster. Reread it again. On your third try, you'll be even faster, at a native speaker's speed. And being able to read these phrases out loud and fast will help you speak fast. Number 4, record and compare yourself with native speakers. In order to sound like a native speaker, you must imitate native speakers. So here's how. Access the voice recorder, which is in the Dialogue Study tool in every lesson. Click on the microphone icon. Listen to the native speaker's audio, and then record yourself. You can then compare the 2 recordings side by side, and practice and try again and again until you perfect your pronunciation. Number 5, get feedback from our Premium Plus teacher. If you're learning by yourself and don't have access to real teachers, then you can always get feedback from our Premium Plus teachers. With the My Teacher tool, you can record yourself speaking and send the audio file to the teacher. They'll review it and tell you what to improve and how. That's it. Number 6, level up your speaking with Premium Plus assignments. With Premium Plus, you can also get assignments that cover reading, writing, listening, and even speaking from your teacher. These assignments can be tailored to your goals and needs. You get a new one every week, or anytime you're ready for a new one. Number 7, get even more lessons in the lesson library. If you want even more lessons on speaking and conversations, visit our lesson library and under Category, choose Conversation. You'll get all of the pathways and lessons that are focused on speaking. If you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share it with anyone who's trying to learn a language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And if you're ready to finally learn language the fast, fun, and easy way, and start speaking from your very first lesson, get our complete learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account right now. Click the link in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!
You just got a text message from your hotel's pickup service. What does the first number refer to? What does the first number refer to? The number in the text message refers to the customer code.
Código de cliente.
Hey there, friends of SpanishPod101.com. As you might already know, because we are famous, just kidding, I'm Efrain.
And I'm Diego.
And today we're gonna give you a top 10 of Mexican food street that you will find in Mexico City.
That's correct, so enjoy this video.
Woo! So this is gonna be a long list. At least for us, that because we haven't eaten yet. But it doesn't matter if you work in an office. Doesn't matter if you are a student. It doesn't matter your social status, neither your age. Doesn't matter if you are a grown-up or a child. Everyone, every citizen in Mexico City has already eaten street food, right?
That's correct, yeah. Now, we know that this food that we're going to show you, you can find it very easily in any restaurant in Mexico. However, we highly suggest that if you come here, you should try the street food in Mexico because in our opinion, it is much better, it is tastier, but it is always cheaper. So, please don't miss the opportunity to eat street food in Mexico. And let's start with a very typical dish here, and this dish is called quesadillas. By the way, everything here is going to be spoken in Spanish, so you can get familiar with the words that are used in this type of food. So, las quesadillas. Las quesadillas son básicamente una tortilla de maíz, y esa tortilla de maíz lleva por dentro queso, o quizás no queso, pero sí algún guisado. Por ejemplo, pollo, pueden ser champiñones, puede ser flor de calabaza,
huitlacoche,
puede ser huitlacoche, etc. Esta tortilla puede ser solamente asada en un comal, which is a type of pan, a huge pan, or even puede ser una tortilla frita. A mí personalmente me gustan más las quesadillas fritas. Deliciosas, deliciosas. Ahora, las quesadillas también tienen una ligera variedad, que es, pueden ser las quesadillas hechas a base de tortilla de harina de trigo. They taste all delicious. You should try them.
Okay. The second one is sopes. Los sopes están hechos de masa y son generalmente circulares. Ajá. Ahora, tienen un grosor de poco menos de medio centímetro, solamente unos milímetros, y alrededor podemos encontrar que tienen ciertos bordes como pellizcos. Esto es para que no se le salga el relleno. La base puede ser de frijoles, Y también se le puede añadir pollo, lechuga, queso, chorizo. Se le pueden añadir muchas cosas y saben realmente deliciosos. Los sopes muchas veces los encontramos casi en el sur de México. Yo vivo en Guadalajara y ahí casi no se encuentran, ¿eh?
Es correcto, es correcto. Otra comida típica mexicana son los tlacoyos. Y los tlacoyos es masa de maíz en forma de rombo. Esta masa de maíz puede ser maíz blanco o maíz azul. La masa azul en los tlacoyos es deliciosa.
Sí.
Y en esencia, estos tlacoyos tienen por dentro un poco de relleno que puede ser frijol, puede ser haba, puede ser requesón, puede ser papa o incluso también chicharrón prensado. Generalmente las personas le ponen un poco de aceite y lo ponen a asar nuevamente en un comal. Y estos tlacoyos pueden ser acompañados con crema, con queso, con nopales, con cilantro picado, con cebollita. Y por supuesto no puede faltar la salsa verde o roja. ¡Oh, ya tengo mucha hambre!
¡Ay, qué delicia! Bien, otro platillo son las clásicas gorditas. Tal vez en nuestros videos hemos mencionado mucho las gorditas y aún no sabes qué es. Bueno, las gorditas están hechas de masa, también son circulares y estas generalmente están freídas en un comal, igualmente. Ya que están fritas, el en medio se rellena con pollo, se puede rellenar también con queso, pero también con carne. Aquí en el Distrito Federal, bueno, en la Ciudad de México, se rellenan con carne de suadero a veces, pero también se les puede poner cilantro, cebolla para acompañar, salsa o limón. Y ya quedó esa gordita bien rica. También puedes pagar un dinero extra para que le metan queso Oaxaca o quesillo.
Delicioso, delicioso. El siguiente tipo de comida son las clásicas flautas. Y una flauta es básicamente un taco alargado de entre 15 y 35, 40 centímetros. Pero es un taco frito. Por lo general dentro puede llevar pollo o carne deshebrada o también algunas personas le ponen papa. Y esto puede ir acompañado generalmente con crema, con queso, con lechuga y por supuesto con la clásica salsa verde o roja.
¡Qué rico!
Así es, un rápido tip, estas flautas las sirven en órdenes de 3 y siempre consúmelas recién hechas, porque de otra forma la tortilla se ablandece y no es una sensación agradable.
No. Bien, el siguiente platillo son los amados guaraches. Los guaraches obtienen su nombre por su largo y parecido a las sandalias, que en México se les dice guaraches. Bien, los guaraches son una pieza de masa aplastada a tal punto que alcanza un largo de 30 centímetros y un grosor como de 15 o 10 centímetros. Entonces están rellenos de frijoles y también pueden llevar pollo, queso encima, lechuga y salsa también para acompañar. Su contenido no es tan diferente al de los sopes. Es similar.
Ahora, cuando cae la noche y tenemos un poco de frío, lo mejor que puedes encontrar en México son los clásicos elotes o esquites. Y los elotes pueden ser servidos de dos formas. Puede ser, número uno, hervidos, están en una olla y tú llegas con el elotero y le dices qué elote quieres y es casi todo un arte ver cómo saca el elote y le clava un palo de madera.
Claro.
Ahora, este elote generalmente lo puedes pedir con jugo de limón, con sal y con chile piquín en polvo. Delicioso. Otras personas más aventureras optan por ponerle mayonesa alrededor y también queso rallado. Es una delicia. La segunda forma de pedir un elote es un elote a las brasas, que es básicamente un elote un poco quemado, que lo sirven en una hoja de maíz. Y por lo general también tiene jugo de limón, chile piquín y también un poco de sal. Ahora, si no quieres un elote, también puedes pedir unos esquites, que es básicamente los granos del elote, y tienen sal, tienen epazote, y nuevamente también pueden llevar jugo de limón, chile piquín, sal, pero sí sugiero que a estos esquites les pongas mayonesa y queso rallado. Es una delicia y créeme que con eso el frío que puedes sentir en la ciudad se te va a quitar por completo.
Claro, pero también cuando ataca el frío podemos consumir caldo de gallina, el cual está hecho de agua, con ajo, con cebolla y con grasa de pollo, y por supuesto va a contener también piezas de pollo como pueden ser el ala de la gallina, la pierna, pero también la pechuga, y también va a traer algunas verduras como garbanzo y cebolla picada. Se le puede añadir también alguna salsa, y bueno, esta también se caracteriza por encontrarse en algunas partes de la Ciudad de México. Yo recuerdo que mi papá me llevaba a un puesto de caldo de gallina todos los domingos en las mañanas, y era fantástico y delicioso. Este caldo se consume generalmente en las mañanas, ya más tarde es difícil encontrarlo.
La siguiente comida es un clásico antojo mexicano que podemos comer, no importa si es la tarde o la noche o quizás muy en la noche. Y son los clásicos tacos al pastor. ¡Ay, los tacos al pastor! Estos tacos al pastor es una adaptación del shawarma árabe y es generalmente carne de cerdo que por lo general se sirve en tortillas, doble tortilla de aproximadamente 8 centímetros de diámetro, y este taco puede ir acompañado con piña, con cilantro, con cebolla, y también hay una enorme variedad de salsas que le puedes poner. La más clásica, sin embargo, es la salsa roja, que es de chile de árbol. No olviden también a sus tacos ponerle un poco de limón y queda exquisito.
Bien, por otra parte también tenemos los tacos de canasta, pero también los tacos sudados. En su presentación en la calle los podemos encontrar en la parte trasera de una bicicleta en una canasta, que contiene desde 500 hasta 1000 tacos, y los cuales se van a acabar en 3 o 4 horas. A los lados de la canasta puede haber cubetas con salsa, con escabeche, con chiles en vinagre, también limón. Los tacos de canasta generalmente son de papa con chorizo, frijoles, chicharrón prensado, también pueden tener carne de adobo o muchas cosas y muy ricas, ¿verdad, Diego?
Es correcto. Y ¿sabes qué? Ahora ya tengo muchísima hambre. ¿Por qué no vamos a la calle a comprar un poco de verdadera comida callejera mexicana?
Pero estoy a dieta.
No importa, vamos.
Well,
that's it for today, my friends, from SpanishBall101.com. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If so, please give it your thumbs up and share it with other learners who want to know about the food street in Mexico. And also, please, if you have any comment, opinion, or if you're planning to come to Mexico, please let us know right in the comments right below. So, hopefully, we can see you in our next video, guys.
¡Hasta luego!
Hi everybody, Rosa here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Spanish questions. The question for this lesson is: how do you know when to use ser or estar? This can be confusing for Spanish learners, especially for native English speakers, because both ser and estar mean to be. First, let's go over the forms of ser. I am, yo soy, you are singular, tú eres. He, she is, you are, polite. Él, ella, usted es. We are, nosotros somos, you are, plural. Vosotros sois. They are, you are, polite and plural. Ellos, ellas, ustedes son. The different forms of estar are: yo estoy for I am. Tú estás for you are, singular. Él, ella, usted está for he, she is, you are, polite. Nosotros estamos for we are, vosotros estáis for you are in polite form. And ellos, ellas, ustedes están for they are. You are, polite and plural. There is a subtle but simple difference between the two words for to be. Estar is for temporary conditions such as feelings and emotions, and that's why how are you is ¿cómo estás? Ser is for characteristics or permanent states of being. For example, if I'd say I am American, I would say yo soy americano. Here's a good rule of thumb. Turn the sentence into a question. If the question uses how, then use estar. And if it uses what, use ser. Take the word callado, for example, which means quiet. Depending on which verb you use, the nuance will be different. If you say ella es callada, which uses ser, that means she's quiet, as in she's a quiet person. On the other hand, if you say ella está callada, which uses the verb estar, that would mean she's being quiet. The nuance is that this situation is temporary and that she's just being quiet in this moment in time. Pretty cool, right? If you have any more questions, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer them. Hi everybody, Rosa here. Welcome to As a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Spanish questions. The question for this lesson is, when do you use the conjunction u instead of o? First, let's go over some background information on how to use o. O is a conjunction in Spanish that means or. It's a conjunción coordinada disyuntiva or disjunctive coordinating conjunction. That means it connects two different sentences and it used to give contrast or connect contrary opinions. An example of contrast would be: sal a trabajar ahora o no llegarás a tiempo. Meaning, go to work now or you are not going to be on time. Here, that means if part A, go to work, doesn't happen, part B, you are not going to be there on time, will happen. An example of connecting contrary opinions would be: ¿qué quieres de postre? ¿Helado o fruta? Meaning, what do you want for dessert? Ice cream or fruit? This is the most common use of o. Now, on to the question for this lesson. O changes to u when or precedes a word that begins with an o sound. This includes H and O together because H is silent in Spanish. Let's go through some examples so you can learn when to use U instead of O. First up, más vale que vengas a la hora u otra persona te quitará el sitio. Meaning, you better come on time or another person is going to take your place. Here, the word otra, another, begins with an O sound. Therefore, we change O to U. Another example would be: puede utilizar esta mesa para jardín u hogar. Meaning, you can use this table for the garden or home. So why do the words change? That's easy, because it's easier to pronounce. How was this lesson? Pretty interesting, right? Do you have any more questions? Leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Hasta luego, see you later!
Hi, welcome to Introduction to Spanish. My name is Alicia and I'm joined by...
Hi everyone, I'm Leah.
In this lesson, you'll learn the basics of Spanish grammar. Word order refers to the order in which words are structured to form a sentence in a given language. Consider the English sentence, I read books. If we break down the English sentence, I read books, we can see that the subject I is presented first, followed by the verb read, and then finally the object, books, is positioned last. The basic word order for English, then, is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short.
Now, let's compare that same sentence, I read books, in Spanish. Yo leo libros. If we break down the Spanish sentence, we get the subject, yo, meaning I. Then comes the verb, leo, meaning read. And finally, we have the object, libros, meaning books. The word order for basic Spanish then is subject, verb, object, or SVO for short.
As you can see, the word order for sentences in Spanish is the same as that of English. This means that you can essentially swap out English words for Spanish words in an English sentence to convert it to Spanish. So imagine you wanted to say, I ate an apple, but in Spanish. Just swap out the words.
I in Spanish is yo. Ate in Spanish is comí. An is una, and apple is manzana. Altogether it's yo comí una manzana.
So, I ate an apple in Spanish is
yo comí una manzana.
You can form nearly all basic sentences in Spanish just by following the SVO word order. We just saw how easy it was to form basic sentences in Spanish and how similar it was to forming basic English sentences. Luckily, it's actually even easier to form sentences in Spanish than it is in English. That's because Spanish is much more flexible when it comes to word order compared to English. Let's go back to the two examples we used earlier. More often than not, if we wanted to say, I read books and I ate an apple in Spanish, we would not usually say,
yo leo libros, yo comí una manzana.
But instead we would just say,
leo libros, comí una manzana.
Notice how the subject I is omitted from the sentence. This is how most Spanish sentences are constructed and spoken in real life.
When it's clear who or what the subject is, most Spanish speakers would omit the subject altogether. Yo leo libros and yo comí una manzana would only be used if the subject is unclear or if you wanted to place a stronger emphasis on the subject, as if to say, I am the one who reads books, or I was the one who ate the apple.
So, most of the time, we can actually express any simple action in Spanish with just two words, the verb and the object in Spanish. So far, we've only looked at affirmative sentences in Spanish. But what if you wanted to make the sentence negative?
Well, that's very easy as well. All you have to do is just add no before the verb and that's it.
So, I don't read books would be
no leo libros. Same thing for I didn't eat an apple. Just add no before the verb. No comí una manzana. And that's all there is to it.
Once again, it's much simpler to form questions in Spanish than it is in English.
There's actually a variety of different methods of forming a question in Spanish. Let's go through some of them. Will seem a little strange if we ask our own selves a question in Spanish. So let's introduce a new subject. Let's go with Juan, a very typical Spanish name. So instead of I read books, we now have Juan reads books. Juan lee libros.
The simplest way we can turn that statement into a question is by just raising our intonation at the end of the sentence.
Juan lee libros? Meaning, does Juan read books?
In conversation, we just need to raise the intonation at the end to express that it's a question. In writing, however, we have to include the question mark at the end, just like in English. But unlike English, questions in Spanish are marked with an inverted question mark at the beginning of the question as well.
Juan lee libros?
Another simple way we can turn a statement into a question is by adding a question tag at the end of a sentence. One question tag in English, for example, is right? Something something statement, right? It works in exactly the same way in Spanish.
Juan lee libros, no? Juan reads books, doesn't he?
The final way to make a sentence in Spanish is to actually switch the verb and the subject. So statements in Spanish would normally be SVO, but to formulate a question, it'll be VSO. The verb and subject are switched.
¿Lee Juan libros? Meaning, does Juan read books?
All of these questions mean the same thing, but they're not completely identical. There are tiny nuances that go along with the method you use to formulate a question.
The first and last examples appear to have exactly the same meaning, but Juan lee libros places a greater emphasis on Juan because the subject appears first in the sentence, as opposed to lee Juan libros, where the emphasis is on the verb.
As you can see, there are many ways to form basic questions in Spanish. In this lesson, you learned about the word order of Spanish, how to form affirmative and negative sentences, about the omission of the subject, and how to form questions. We've covered only the very basics of Spanish grammar. If you're interested in learning more, check out our Spanish in 3 Minutes video series. In that course, we teach you useful phrases while covering the fundamentals of Spanish grammar, and each lesson is only 3 minutes long.
Hi everybody, Rosa here. Welcome to Ask a Teacher, where I'll answer some of your most common Spanish questions. The question for this lesson is, what are some popular Spanish idioms? In English, we have our fair share of idioms like, it's raining cats and dogs, or even, what's up? Here are some Spanish idioms you should know. Number 10 is estar empanado, meaning to be spaced out. Literally, it means to be breaded. In Spain, we have a lot of breaded foods like la empanada gallega. So every time your mind freezes and you can think, you're getting empanado or empanada. Number 9 is dormir como un tronco, meaning to sleep like a trunk. This means that you slept very well. For example, he dormido como un tronco, meaning I slept like a trunk. Number 8, chorizo, means sausage. And if you are carnivorous, you are going to find Spanish chorizo delicious. But don't be surprised if you hear this word in reference to a person. That means they are a thief, burglar, or swindler. Number 7 is one that doesn't make much sense, but you'll often hear. It is hace un tiempo de perros. Literally, it's a dog weather, meaning it's terrible weather. Number 6 is a phonetic challenge. Que chorrada. Chorrada, wow, sounds difficult. We have the CH and a double R. So what does chorrada mean? If we say que chorrada, we are expressing that something is not important, has no sense, or is absurd. Number 5 is costar un ojo de la cara, which means it's ridiculously expensive, but it literally means it costs an eye out of the head. Number 4, aprobar por los pelos, literally means to pass by the hair, referring to an exam. If you say aprobé por los pelos, you're saying that you got the lowest score or close to it, but passed the exam. Hopefully, you don't use this expression too much. Number 3 is que guay, meaning cool. Here we have a very useful multi-purpose word. Do you want to go to the beach? Why? Do you like my trousers? Que guays. How was the party last night? Muy guay. It's similar to good, okay, perfect, or beautiful. However, be careful. It should only be used in casual or colloquial situations. Number 2 is tener un cacao. Literally translated, it means to have a cacao. However, the real meaning is to have a lot of trouble or to be in a mess. Lastly, number 1 is tener el guapo subido, which literally means to have the good looking up. The meaning of this may be easy for you to guess. You can use this phrase when suddenly one of your friends looks stunning. ¿Te ha pasado algo bueno? Hoy tienes el guapo subido. Did anything good happen to you? Today you're looking handsome. How was this lesson? Pretty interesting, right? Do you have any more questions? Please leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Hasta luego, see you later!
Hola a todos, soy Lucía. Hi everybody, I'm Lucía. Welcome to SpanishPod101.com, Español en 3 minutos, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Spanish. In the last lesson, we learned how to show thanks by saying gracias. In this lesson, we will learn some of the most common greetings used in Spanish. ¿Están listos? Are you ready? Empecemos, let's start. The most used informal greeting is hola. Hola. Hola means hi or hello. We can use it in formal and informal situations at any time of day. It's very convenient. Hola. Now, let's look at some greetings that are used at certain times of day. First is good morning. Good morning in Spanish is buenos días. Buenos días. Buenos días literally means good day, but we use it to mean good morning. During the day, we say buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes means good afternoon. this can be used all day as long as it's light outside. Again, buenas tardes. When it starts to get dark, you can switch to this. Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Buenas noches means good evening or good night, depending on the situation. If you're greeting someone in the evening, it means good evening. If you're speaking to someone before you go to sleep, it means good night. Again, that's buenas noches. Now, you can greet people in many different ways in Spanish. Let's review them all again. As a general greeting, hola. In the morning, buenos días. In the afternoon or during the day, buenas tardes. In the evening or at night, buenas noches. Pretty easy, right? Now it's time for Lucia's insights. If you're not sure which greeting is right to use, buenos días, buenas tardes, or buenas noches, just remember that hola can be used at any time of day. During the next lesson, you will learn the meaning of habla inglés. Do you already know it? In our next lesson, you will learn this phrase and more. Hasta la próxima. See you then.
Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 4 Spanish consonant sounds.
V, G, Y, Ñ.
These consonant sounds do not appear in English, so they'll likely be new to you. Be sure to practice them because these are unique sounds which learners often get wrong. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
V, lava, bebé, verbo.
This consonant sounds like a combination between a V and a B sound. Try to think of it as producing a regular V sound, but instead of using your upper teeth, try to use your upper lip. The upper lip should lightly contact the bottom lip as to still allow air to pass through it. It sounds like a buzzing noise. Listen to the example.
V, V. V, V.
The next consonant is
G, signo, amigo, goma.
This consonant sounds like a continuous G sound. One trick to pronounce this sound is to pretend that you're saying a G, but instead of making full contact and releasing the air in a single burst, try to lightly contact the back part of your mouth with the back part of your tongue, and then allow air to seep through the small opening. It should almost sound as if you were gargling.
G, G. G, G.
The next consonant is
Y, llave, pollo, llanta.
You can sometimes produce this sound by saying the English word million. Try it. It sounds a bit like you're saying an L and a Y at the same time. Try to think of it as pronouncing a regular English L, but instead of using the tip of your tongue, try to use the blade or the middle part of your tongue.
Y, Y. Y, Y.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Ñ, ñandú, niño, año.
Raise your tongue so that the middle or blade of the tongue touches the roof of your mouth. It kind of sounds like a combination between the N and Y sounds in the English word canyon. Here's a great tip. Try to think of it as pronouncing a regular English N sound, but instead of using the tip of your tongue, try to use the blade, the part behind it. Let's take a closer look.
Ñ, Ñ. Ñ, Ñ.
Well done! You just learned another 4 Spanish consonants.
V, G, Y, Ñ.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 5 new consonant sounds. These sounds don't appear in English, so they'll be trickier than the last group. How difficult were they to learn? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 10 Spanish consonant sounds.
P, Ch, D, G, K, L, M, N, N.
These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so if you know English, they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
B, bestia.
like the B in the word buy.
B, B. B, B.
The next consonant is
Ch, chubasco.
like the ch sound in the word match.
Ch, ch. Ch, ch.
The next consonant is
D, dedo.
like the D in the word dad.
D, D. D, D.
The next consonant is
Fase.
like the F in the word find. The next consonant is
G, gato.
like the G in the word goggle.
G, G. G, G.
The next consonant is
Kilo.
like the K in the word kite. The next consonant is
L, lino.
like the L in the word like.
L, L. L, L.
The next consonant is
M, mano.
like the M in the word man.
M, M,
The next consonant is
N, nido.
like the N in the word nice.
N, N. N, N.
The final consonant for this lesson is
N, domingo.
like the ng sound in the word sing.
N, N. N, N.
Well done! You just learned your first 10 Spanish consonants.
P, Ch, D, G, K, L, M, N, N.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 8 more consonant sounds that are identical to the ones in English. Was seeing the pronunciation illustrations helpful? Please comment and share your thoughts. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about metaplasms. In Spanish, words are connected together when the final syllable of a word is identical or very similar to the beginning syllable of the following word. You can kind of think of it as making 2 or more words into one big word. This linking of words is what gives Spanish its alluring fluidity. There are 2 types of connections you can make in Spanish, between vowels and between identical consonants. First, let's deal with connecting words that end and begin with vowel sounds.
Quiere entrar. Ella quiere entrar. Decía. A. Ambos. Martín se lo decía a ambos empleados.
As you can see, identical vowels will connect with each other. When they connect, they combine to become one syllable and the vowel sound is prolonged accordingly.
Martín se lo decía a ambos empleados.
How about this one?
Va a hacer. Va a hacer.
All 3 words are linked in this phrase because remember, the H is silent in Spanish. Let's look at a few other examples showing unidentical vowels connecting with each other.
Me inclino. Me inclino. Como. Una. Como una.
As you can see, the nature of linking words together between vowels is both rhythmic and fluid.
Volvió a Europa. Silvana volvió a Europa.
Now that we've looked at connecting words together between vowels, let's take a look at connecting consonants together.
Dicen. Nada. Dicen nada.
As you can clearly see, consonants can also be combined in Spanish. How about this one?
Es fácil leer revistas simplonas.
Unlike vowels, however, consonants can only link if the sound is completely identical. That's why the S and F are not connected in this example. Listen to Alex again.
Es fácil leer revistas simplonas.
That's all for linking words together in Spanish. In this lesson, you learned how to speak fluidly by connecting words together in Spanish. In the next lesson, you'll learn about accent reduction. Can you think of another metaplasm example? Share it with us in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn the top 5 Spanish pronunciation mistakes to avoid. These are common mistakes that students of Spanish tend to make, so pay close attention and make sure that you don't make these same mistakes too. Are you ready? Then let's get started. Number 1. Pronouncing the letter H. The letter H is silent in Spanish. Most people learning Spanish try to pronounce it when in fact it should be silent. English speakers in particular are used to pronouncing it in their own language, so they try to do so in Spanish as well. But don't make this same mistake. Take hello, for example.
Hola.
Notice that Alex does not pronounce the H sound.
Hola.
Let's move on to number 2.
Ñe.
Many Spanish learners tend to pronounce this consonant incorrectly. Listen to Alex pronounce this consonant in a few words.
Niño. Niña. Baño.
This letter can be difficult for students of Spanish to pronounce, mostly because they don't have this sound in their language. One trick to pronouncing this sound is by saying the word onion or canyon. It kind of sounds like a combination between an N and a Y sound, doesn't it? But don't worry about much of the specifics for now, as we'll break down this consonant in Lesson 7. Number 3. Mispronouncing the letter J. The letter J sounds a bit like an H sound in English. This is confusing for many speakers, particularly if their language also uses the Roman letters H and J. But not only this, because if you listen very carefully, it's not the same sound as the H in the English word how, for example. Listen to Alex again. It's pronounced further back, close to the throat. In fact, you should feel a little tickle in the back of the throat. This sound is also pronounced with a bit more force. Listen to Alex pronounce this letter in a few words.
Jamón, eje, reloj.
Number 4. Pronouncing Spanish vowels. When pronouncing vowels in Spanish, many speakers tend to stretch out the vowels for too long. Spanish vowels should be pronounced short and simple. Listen to Alex.
A, E, I, O, U.
Now listen to Alex pronounce these vowels in a few words. Pay close attention to the duration of the vowel in each word.
Amigo, enero, ir, oro, uva.
And finally, number 5. Mispronouncing the double L sound.
Y.
Double L's are not pronounced the same as the English L sound. Many Spanish learners tend to pronounce it as such or try to extend the sound to compensate. However, the actual sound is quite different. Listen to it again.
Y.
It sounds like a combination of an L and a Y sound. Now, let's listen to how Alex pronounces this sound in a few words.
Llamar, llave, pollo.
We'll break down this sound in Lesson 6. Now you know the top 5 Spanish pronunciation mistakes to avoid. Try to be careful so that you don't make these same mistakes. In the next lesson, we'll start learning vowel sounds in Spanish. What's your biggest challenge with Spanish pronunciation? Is it one of these top 5 mistakes? Let us know in the comments. Stick with us and you'll overcome it quickly. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn 8 Spanish consonant sounds.
P, S, T, V, H, L, Y, Z.
These consonant sounds are identical to the ones in English, so if you know English, they should already be familiar to you. Are you ready? Then let's get started. The first consonant is
P, pozo.
Like the P in the word past.
P, P. P, P.
The next consonant is
S, saco.
Like the S in the word see.
S, 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 S.
The next consonant is
T, tamiz.
Like the T in the word take.
T, 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 T.
The next consonant is
D, arder.
like the th sound in the word that.
D, 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 D.
The next consonant is
México.
Like the ch sound in the word yech or Loch Ness. The next consonant is
W. Cuadro.
like the W in the word win.
W. 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 W.
The next consonant is
Y. Yo-yo.
like the Y in the word you.
Y. 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 Y.
The final consonant for this lesson is
Z. Mismo.
like the Z in the word zebra.
Z. 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 Z.
Well done! You just learned another 8 Spanish consonants.
P. S. T. V. H. W. Y. Z.
In the next lesson, you'll learn 3 new consonant sounds. These sounds don't appear in English, so they'll be trickier than the last group. Were there more familiar sounds than you expected? Let us know if you have questions in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this lesson, you'll learn about stress and accentuation in Spanish. Let's cover stress first because it'll help us better understand accentuation later. Like English, Spanish places stress on specific syllables in a word. There are generally 2 main rules that govern where the stress is placed in Spanish. The first rule applies to words that end in a vowel, end with the letter N, or end with the letter S. For these types of words, the stress is placed on the second to last syllable of the word. Listen to Alex pronounce a few words that contain one of these features.
Nada. Origen. Zapatos.
Most Spanish words tend to fall into this category, so it's quite likely that it's the second to last syllable that'll need to be stressed. The second rule applies to words that end in a consonant, not including the letter N or the letter S. For these types of words, the stress is placed on the last syllable of the word. For example,
Doctor. Ciudad. Comer.
Quite simple, isn't it? Let's have a quick test to see if you've grasped the material. Where should the stress be placed in the following words?
Niñas. Nadador. Computadora.
Most Spanish words will obey either one of these 2 rules, so it's best that you memorize them. Okay, now let's move on. Enter the Spanish accent. Spanish uses the acute accent, which looks like this. The acute accent is used to indicate that the syllable must be stressed, regardless of the 2 previous stress rules. So the rule is to always stress the syllable which contains this accent. Let's take a look at a few examples.
Compró. Compró.
As you can see, this word ends with a vowel. Normally, you would stress the second to last syllable. However, there's an accent over the letter O, indicating that it must be stressed. Therefore, we must stress the last syllable instead. Let's take a look at another one.
Médico. Médico.
Notice how the first syllable is stressed? That's precisely because of the accent marker. What about this word?
El.
Or this one?
El.
They both sound exactly the same, right? That's because single-syllable words are already naturally stressed, and you cannot add more stress to a syllable simply by applying an accent marker over one of the vowels. So, if the pronunciation remains the same, then what's the purpose of the accent marker? It's to differentiate words that would otherwise be spelled the same but have different meanings. So, while it doesn't impact how single-syllable words are pronounced, it helps to lift the ambiguity between words that would otherwise be identical. And finally, this accent has one remaining function that we've yet to discuss. Do you remember diphthongs? The merging of two vowel sounds when they're next to each other? Well, whenever this accent appears over the letters I or U in a vowel group, it prevents them from being a diphthong, meaning you must pronounce them separately. For example,
Tía, país, mío, río.
Well, that's all for stress and accents. In this lesson, you learned about stress and accentuation in Spanish. In the next lesson, you'll learn about metaplasm in Spanish. Do you have accents in your language? Share it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Hi everyone! Welcome to the Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide. In this series, you'll master Spanish pronunciation. Proper pronunciation is essential in Spanish, and in this series, you'll learn it in a fast, comprehensive, and easy way. In this first lesson, you'll learn about the building blocks of the Spanish pronunciation system that will help you in future lessons. The letters used in Spanish are the same as the letters you use in English, with the exception of one other letter, and these letters, with accents over them. But be careful not to fall into a very common trap. As you're learning to speak correctly, you shouldn't concern yourself with all the letters. That's right, forget them. You care about the sounds of Spanish, and here they are. There are 27 consonant sounds and 5 vowel sounds. Each symbol that you see here represents a single sound determined by the IPA, which is a standardized way to represent sounds without the accompanying baggage that's often involved with traditional letters. By using these 32 sounds, you can form every single word in Spanish. Still seem complicated? Well, how about this? Of the 27 consonant sounds in Spanish, you already know 18 of them. That's right. If you're a native English speaker, then you already make these sounds every day. We'll cover familiar sounds in lessons 4 and 5. You can also ignore 2 of the vowel sounds for the same reason. The only thing standing between you and perfect Spanish pronunciation are 9 new consonant and 3 new vowel sounds. You can handle that. Now let me introduce Alex, who will be helping you to master these new sounds.
Hola, soy Alex.
Alex will be giving you native pronunciation examples for you to imitate. But for this first lesson, just sit back and listen to the unique sounds of Spanish.
Obtuso, trigo, pollo, cañón, rumbo, bravo, tláhuac, quetzal, ayuno, rata, vehemente, boscoso.
In the next lesson, we'll look at the top 5 pronunciation mistakes Spanish learners make. You'll want to make sure not to fall into these common traps. After that, we'll begin going through the vowels and consonants of Spanish. This is your chance to learn how to correctly say all of the words you just heard. We'll finish up the series by covering some special topics that will really make your Spanish sound natural. To close this lesson, here's a question for you. Why is it important to spend time on learning proper pronunciation, even if you're already an advanced speaker? The answer, you will be understood, and this will help you build more confidence as you communicate in Spanish. For beginners, you're creating a strong foundation to build on. And for more advanced students, this is your chance to improve your accent and lose any bad habits you may have picked up. What is the hardest part of Spanish pronunciation? Tell us about it in the comments. See you in the next Ultimate Spanish Pronunciation Guide lesson. Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Spanish ebook before it's gone.